It's almost over. Not just the dog days of summer, but our whole ball of wax special promotion at Launchpreneur Academy. Now at 11:59 p.m. Wednesday, August 31st, it vanishes into the ether. Here's the deal. When you buy the whole ball of wax, all the courses, forms, marketing materials that Brian offers, you receive a free ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live, November 12th in Novi, Michigan. That right there is a $197 value, plus you get instant access to all the future resources which are coming this fall and the additions in the years ahead. January 1st, the price goes up. So grab this bundle now before it vanishes. A special link is provided in the podcast description. Now, on with the show.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, guys, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast this morning with us. The podcast has been growing like crazy, and it's end of month, baby. We are finishing up the month of August 2022, and man, it has been... August, I feel like I saw a meme the other day. It said August has somewhere to be because August went super fast for us. It's been a quick month. It's been a fast month. It's been a profitable month. We've actually done some pretty good work. Had a couple extra pruning jobs, a couple extra little landscape jobs that were mixed in, and you know, frankly, August is usually one of those dog days of summer months like July and August, kind of a 2-month lull, and then we kind of ramp back up as we go into the fall rush with September, October for mowing, aerations, overseeding, any kind of last minute fall pruning and cutbacks. After that, as you guys know, it's fall cleanups, and then it's snow. This time of year, though, it's already busy as heck because we're already leapfrogging the season talking about snow because we've been getting all of our snow contracts out and having all those conversations with customers for snow. So that's what the topic of the podcast is going to be today. And something that I want to talk about was moving to flat rate pricing, some of the different decisions we're making with our business this year to become more profitable with snow, to grow the top line revenue number with snow, always working toward like a perfect business model, if you will, with snow, and always learning from some of the greats, from my friend Mike Bedell to the Detroit Clogs and the Corey Ballards with Perfect Cut. Guys, I'll tell you what, I have been pressing in a lot. I'm trying to learn, behind the scenes, just like you guys are. You're consuming my information. I'm consuming your guys' information. We're all sharing. We're all helping. We're all growing. And something I've really been trying to actually learn, like I'm behind the scenes. I'm getting my FAA drone pilot's license. I'm getting starting to pen some different books that I'm hoping to have released towards fall. Learning more about snow, like actually making money, different courses, different accreditations. I'm like growing professionally, just like so many of you guys are as well. So I'm excited about it. And we've made some huge changes with snow that I wanted to talk about and share about on this podcast because I'm always trying to get my business bigger, better, burlier, more profitable, dissolve the bottom and grow the top. Everything that we all talk about and listen to, on podcasts and shows just like this and other great ones in the industry. So that's going to be the theme of today's podcast. We're going to be talking about snow. Wanted to just take a quick second and let you guys know that today is the last day for the month of August to get the whole ball of wax, which will include a free ticket to LAL 2022. That's our live event going on this November 12th, Saturday. It's an all-day event on Saturday. Friday night is a free go-kart rental track that we have for 4 hours that you are invited to as well if you have your ticket to LAL. And so that is our huge annual conference that we've been putting on. Last year, there was north of 300 people there. This year, we have 400 seats, and ticket sales are going very healthy. One thing that I want to talk about is, will you guys help me sell this thing out in the month of September? Can we just, everybody that plans to go, grab your ticket? That's going to be my call to action. That's going to be my rally cry, if you will. Let's rally together and get this thing going. Let's get these tickets sold. Numbers are really healthy. I'm really excited about that. But at the same point, we had I'd say probably 40% of the ticket registrations sell in the last 3 weeks of the event. And that's kind of a weird position to be in. It's the nature of the beast. I get it. I talked about on a previous show talking about procrastination. And I said, let's not be procrastinators. So that being said, if you guys are going to go, help me out. Get your ticket now. Get your hotel booked now. Get your flights booked now. Let's rock and roll. Let's pack this place out. And it'd be nice to have 300 of the 400 tickets sold by the end of the month of September. But just to go full circle, the whole ball of wax promotion, that is everything that we have on the website for $1,499 at the time of this recording. And if you buy it in the month of August or July, which has obviously passed, you'll get a free ticket this year to LAL 2022, which is a $197 value. Pretty dope. One thing I will say is not only do you get your free ticket to LAL, but you get everything on the whole website and everything to come. And I say everything to come because there are going to be I don't even know how to describe it, a bunch, 3, 4, 5, 6 new resources that we're already working on that are going to be releasing this fall and winter of 2022, 2023. I'm not even going to tease at them because last time I did this last year, I started teasing, I started dropping a bunch of them, and I'm not going to do that just this year. But imagine where my company's at. My company's getting thicker, more systems, more operations, better procedures, better at the numbers. And so there's a bunch of great tools and resources that I think will really help you guys grow because they're helping me grow. Like I said, I'm not just, mowing grass and just making YouTube videos. I'm learning, I'm studying, I'm trying to be a better business owner. And so that's the kind of stuff that we are working on behind the scenes, things that I'm devouring and learning, building resources to help me grow that I hope to have as resources to help you guys grow. So that being said, if you get the whole ball of wax, not only do you get a free ticket to LAL, but you will also get lifetime updates and upgrades. And by the way, some of you guys bought the whole ball of wax 3 years ago when it was $249. And so every year when we add new stuff, of course, the price goes up because there's more resources part of that. But if you get it at this price, if you will, you're grandfathered in for whatever we add to it for the next 10, 20 years. So one day this whole ball of wax might be $5,000. And imagine the people that bought in at $249. Okay, so thank you for the loyalty for all those people early on. A bunch of people bought it 2 years ago when it went up to $9.99 and we added like 16 new resources. I'm just telling you, and I'm not a over-promise, under-deliver kind of guy. Hopefully that has been presented that I am a under-promise, over-deliver kind of a guy. So I'm just telling you, if we're working on stuff, it's going to be helpful. It's going to be stuff you need, stuff you can use. And any which way. That's my quick little rant because today's the last day to get that promotion. So let's do this really quick. We're going to talk about all things snow. I want to talk about how we're taking our snow business to the next level. Right now, if the chips lied where they may, we should be rocking about $30,000 a month in gross revenue for snow removal for a 5-month period, which is $150,000, and that is some stout snow work for us. And I want to show you guys how we're doing it, where we're going with it, and how we're even going to grow it from that number forward. So, got some cool things I want to share with you guys. We're running with you guys over the next 25 minutes. So let's hang tight really quick. I want to kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, and then we're going to come right on back.
Who says you can't have it all and even a little more? All month long, Brian is throwing in a free ticket to Launchpreneur Academy Live when you buy the whole ball of wax at launchpreneuracademy.com. Now, the whole ball of wax is all the training programs, documents, resources, postcard designs, and future content that will be made available at the website. If you've never been to launchpreneuracademy.com, stop the podcast. Check it out right now. The savings of buying it all in this one package is truly remarkable. Plus, you receive one free Launchpreneur Academy Live 2022 admission for the November 12th event in Novi, Michigan. This deal ends August 31st. And yes, tickets to the event can be purchased separately from the whole ball of wax promotion.
All right, guys, well, let's jump right back into it, talking about all things snow plowing and snow removal. Now, right off the rip, a lot of new listeners to the podcast, a lot of new listeners to the show. So forgive me if you guys are a regular listener. We always got new people joining in, and they haven't listened to, the other 398 episodes or whatever we're at. They haven't watched the 1,000 YouTube videos. So if you guys don't know, we have a really great resource that I do want to plug, and it's been helping so many people just tackle the snow business in confidence. That is at launchpreneuracademy.com. just a quick plug there. We have the snow contracts for commercial. We have snow contracts for residential. We have an underappreciated document, in my opinion, is the snow and ice management log, which you should be filling out logs for every site you visit. Just my humble but accurate opinion. And then we've also got the snow plow training program, how to plow snow. We've bundled the contracts, so instead of them being $99 each for $179 if you want to get the residential and commercial contracts. That will be under the bundle section. If you want to get the snow and ice management log, the contracts, and the how to plow snow training program, we've bundled it all with the all-in snowplow program. That will be under the bundle section as well. I think it's $279. The courses a la carte and the resources a la carte would be $349, $379, $399, whatever, right? Just whatever I can do to get them in your guys' hands, save you guys some money, and of course, help you guys make some money. So if you are new to the snow plowing business, I think contracts is probably the number one bottleneck outside of like doing the work, right? Because let's be real, you get a truck, you get a plow, and there's a lot of technicalities and technicals and different aspects to plowing snow and doing things the correct way and where to stack and where to scoop and how to not tear up a driveway or how to back drag correctly. And most of that stuff, though, if you get a truck and you just kind of fumble your way through it, you can learn. And after your first or second snowstorm, you'll be a pro. I mean, that's just the reality of it. Now, if you learn from a how to plow snow training program where we show you how to plow a commercial parking lot and also the other module, which is how to plow a residential driveway, hey, that actually could save you and make you a lot of money. So I always tell people, man, if you could spend $99 to quote unquote learn the business and save yourself from clipping a commercial building or sidewalk or curb or tearing up somebody's lawn or knocking out a mailbox, we talk about all those little nuances in the how to plow snow training program. So education is the first thing I would really encourage you guys if you're getting into the plowing business to start with, because it is a very unique and different business than just running out of the gate and buying a lawnmower and going and mowing a lawn for $20, $40, $80, right? Like so many of us have and done, which is awesome. But again, I just want to make sure that before we start talking about contracts, we start talking about education. And before we start talking about making money, we start talking about proper ways to set up your snow business. And again, I'm learning as we go. So don't think that I have it all figured out. Our first year doing snow, we did like 30 grand in work in 2017. I don't know what we did the couple years in a row after that, but it's grown every year significantly. And this year, my goal is to do about 150 plus in snow. And so when just a couple years ago, our business was doing around 200 grand. And so just for reference, like our company is growing. It's just Rob, myself, and usually another guy, Dominic or Mark, and a couple different people that we've hired for that second/third position. But to be doing 200,000-300,000 plus with 2 trucks, 100 customers, I feel like that's a pretty stout business. We're doing pretty well with that. I'm happy with it. Let me put it that way. I'm sure other people are doing that per day, per week, per month, and that's awesome, right? There's always a bigger fish. That's why I always love having the Troy clogs on. And any which way, more great snow people to come this fall. Hint, hint, maybe some fall, winter shop tours, right? One thing that I wanted to talk about on this podcast specifically was the new approach that I'm trying to take with our commercial work. Now, let me just give the lay of the land, and maybe you guys have heard this before, so I apologize, like I said, if it's repetitive. Some of you guys listening to every show, every video, every Instagram post, and we email once a week, and I super appreciate the friendship, the loyalty, and you guys just being part of the crew. Other people are just stumbling on the show, and they haven't went through the whole backlog, so they're like, what are we all doing here again? So let me get some people up to speed. How I run my business. And it's been an evolution, right? This is my 17th year in business. It'll be my 6th commercial snow plowing year now. But we've always done residential snow ever since the beginning, because to me, I was cutting grass, and then from cutting grass, it snows up here in the Midwest in Michigan, and I got to go plow some snow. And back in the day, we'd had some snow blowers and did somebody's driveway for $20 or $30, whatever it was way back in the day. In fact, I'll tell you this really embarrassing story. This is kind of just my life story is, I was like the lowball bummy dude in the beginning. I was the chuck in the truck, and I would do somebody's driveway for $20 per snowstorm. But my first year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this seasonal prepay thing. I've heard people talk about seasonal prepay. And so my first year, I did residential driveways for $129. I remember the flyer. I had everybody sign up, dude. I had, I mean, for $129, who wouldn't? I had maybe 40 or 50 people that signed up, and long story short, I got demolished. I might have had one good little MTD snowblower. I didn't even know of like name brand stuff like Aaron's or Toro or Cub. I had the little MTD stuff that you get from like your grocery store. We have like Meijer's or maybe a Home Depot or a Lowe's. And, you know, I don't know if I never even ran the numbers to see if I ever made money. I was living at home. I was 19 or 20 years old. And, you know, if I had 40 people prepay at $129, I probably brought in whatever, $5,000. And, you know, I guess back in the day, had a little Hyundai Elantra payment, maybe a mower payment still, but I think I paid off my mower, like I said, in my first podcast, in 4 months. So I may or may not have had a mower payment, but whatever, a little this, a little that, living at home, some food money, some grocery money, you know, $1,000 a month. It's wild. I think today, like, I couldn't live on less than $1,000 a day just because life is just so big with companies and overhead and life and payroll and food and gas and kids and life and rent. Maybe you guys can relate. You're like, dude, if I don't make $400 or $500 today, I'm going backwards. Like, and it doesn't mean like you're big time trying to make $1,000 a day. It's just like, and then I'm sure there's other companies who are like, yeah, if we don't hit $2,500 a day in revenue production or $5,000 a day in revenue production, like, is it even worth keeping this thing going? So that was my illustrious start. In the first 10 or 11 years, that's what I did. And I'm sure I went from 129 to 139 to 149 to 179. Maybe. And I say a big maybe because basically, when I got my truck in 2017, the red truck Thunder that you guys know, that truck changed my life, changed our business. Liz and I squeaked into it. I mean, it's funny, but it was a $58,000 truck. We put $16,000 cash down. I traded in my old red F-150. That was a 4x2, and got that $4,000 from the trade-in for the dealership, and was able to drop that $20,000 down towards that truck for $58,000. So I owed whatever would be $40,000 maybe after taxes and all that mess. And that was 2017 of October. And like 2 weeks later, I went out and bought a snowplow. Now, here's the deal. That whole summer, I was hanging out at least once a month, probably more often, because I just met my friend Mike Bedell in 2016. Right? Some of you guys know the story. And so Bedell and I just built a friendship, then we built a business relationship. But in 2017, I'll tell you straight up, 4, 5, 6 dinners easily with Bedell at this steak on a stone place called Black Rock in Novi. And Bedell had been doing snow for a decade. He had already been, had a 7-8 person company. He was doing $500,000 a year for a long time, plus. He had been working with Midwest Landscape, which is a pretty big company over here by us over in like Farmington, Novi. He had been subbing out for the Troy Clogs of the area, if you will. So he knew the business, he knew the industry, and he had some great snow contracts, and he had just great advice. And so, by the way, this is what I always tell people, like, invest in education first with anything you're trying to do. I'm getting my drones pilot certificate, my 107 license, whatever they call it, my fixed wing UAG, whatever UAS, whatever it is, license and all that stuff. I'm going through all the modules right now to take my test here in September. And it's fun, it's cool, it's interesting, it's a lot of work. But I tell you what, every dinner I went out with Bedell, which, by the way, if you guys know Bedell, he talks. I'm a talker. He's a talker. You get us together. It's synergy of talking. So I don't think there's a dinner that we did less than 3 hours long. And I'm just feeding him apps. I'm like, hey, you want an appetizer? Hey, you want some steaks? Hey, you want some shrimp on a stone? Hey, you want dessert? And hey, get this guy another soda, right? And I just be milking it, just to try to learn from my friend, And I was reciprocity as much as I could, right? I'm like, but hell, anything you want on the menu, bro. You want a gift card? Like, whatever I can do. And so we talked contracts. We talked snowplow techniques. He's like, hey, close your eyes. Imagine you're plowing the Sherwin-Williams parking lot. Where do you start? I'm like, well, I just drop the blade and head on in. He goes, nope. He goes, actually, you want to work from the inside out. And then from the outside, we want to make sure we're pushing things back as far as possible. And he just gave me things that you just wouldn't know otherwise. Maybe you're intuitive like that and you're like, oh yeah, this is all common sense. But to me, driving a $60,000 truck, I just bought a $10,000 plow. Back in the day, it was $7,500. Today's money, I know new plows are $10,000 plus. I was like, oh, dude, I need to learn as much as I can. I don't want to damage anything, and I want it to be a profitable venture right out the go. So I did have a good base to work with, right? Like I said, I always had 40 residentials that signed up with snow for more than a decade. And then we were starting to pick up commercial accounts for my lawn care company that were asking about snow. So I didn't like get forced into doing snow, not by any means, but it just made sense to grow. And at that time, I was looking for year-round income too. I was like, yeah, we're doing 10 grand a month every month for, because I got into cleanups by then. So from March to November, it was like 10 grand a month, 10 grand a month, 10 grand a month, whatever. And it's grown since then, naturally, of course. But snow, it was like, because there would be years I did seasonal prepay, and then there's years where I get screwed, and I'd be like, all right, next year's per push. And then, of course, the year I go to per push, we get no snow, and then I'm like, dang it, I should have did prepay. And it was just always like this struggle of like figuring out my snow business. And then there were some years I prepaid, and we only had 5 snow events, so it kind of went my way. And then I also know there was years, I think it was 2013 and 14 winter, where in Michigan we had like a record-breaking snow year, which was like 105 inches. Thank God that was a year I had went to per push. I like made, dude, like probably 20 grand instead of like my normal $5,000 or $6,000, right? Because we got 2.5x the annual snowfall. So that worked out amazingly well. So people are like, do you prepay or do you do per push? So let's break down the residential really quick. Well, just to button up a quick thought with Bedell, I can't tell you guys how many dinners, how many phone call conversations that I spent with him, learning so much information and nuances that I literally made that snow plow course in 2018 or 2019 and threw all the best I can into that thing. And we update it as we go. So if you guys are like, man, $100 to learn how to plow snow, that seems steep, which, I mean, come on, we're talking about making hundreds of thousands of dollars with a new skill over the years. 50 grand truck, 10 grand plows, $100 is no big deal, right? And I know a lot of you guys know that and appreciate that and have been buying up the program, which is cool. But at the same point, I spent thousands of dollars on food and phone calls and time with Bedell, and I packaged all that stuff up to give it away for $100. So one thing I would say really quick is invest in education. I'm just telling you straight up. It'll save you guys so much money and make you guys so much more money over the long haul, just investing in yourself. Duh. So to go full circle to how we're setting up our accounts, residential, you can do per push for 50, 60, 80 bucks, $100 a driveway. Of course, longer driveways, more money. You can do a seasonal prepay, 500, 600, 800 bucks, 1,200 bucks, 1,500 bucks, 2,000 bucks a year, depending on how much snow you get, if you include salt service or ice melt service. And you can do a seasonal prepay for residential. So over the years, here's where I went with my residential work is I just flat out moved to a seasonal prepay for my residential work. Now, again, I'm not saying that's all you have to do, right? Where it's, well, what if somebody offers me $50? Look, if you want to go plow somebody's driveway or snow blow that driveway, go make the $50. I'm not above that. It's nothing like that, of course. It's just, for me personally, I've always wanted to have, people are like, why do you like lawn maintenance so much more than landscaping work? Well, it's not that I love lawn maintenance more than landscape or landscape over lawn maintenance. It's not really to do with any of that. For me personally, with my macro life picture, I'm trying to grow a business with reoccurring revenue and reoccurring income, right? So I'd rather take 20 grand a month, every month in, month out, than to have a landscaping company where I'm, let's say an example, 28 grand. And then the next month it's 18 grand, then it's 32 grand, then it's 12 grand because it was hot and we didn't book any jobs. And then it's 24, then 15, then 18. And so any which way, for me personally, as my life 5-6 years ago, I'm like, okay, I want predictable income because I have predictable bills. I want to have a predictable lifestyle. So I need to like have a predictable business. And for me, it was always maintenance and maintenance work. Now, again, the auxiliary work for landscaping, mulch, plantings, fertilizer, pruning, burlap wrapping of plants and shrubbery, right? You can make a lot of money on that. So I never discredit that. But for me personally, we are a heavy maintenance business because I like the reoccurring revenue and income. Well, as you guys would imagine, like I said earlier, we had a 7 or 8 month predictable business, but I wanted to make sure that we had a 12 month out of 12 month predictable business in terms of revenue. Why? Because I still had overhead. I still had rent. One day I'm going to have a mortgage. I still had employee salaries. I still had owner salaries. I wanted to just have a predictable business with predictable revenue. So my business was very heavy in residential at that time, right? Like I talked about. So what we did is we moved everybody to a seasonal prepay. And the whole 1 year goes your way, the 1 year goes my way. Like it was just getting a little ridiculous because some people had already been with me for a decade, and it's like, man, last year we only got 5 pushes. Do I get a credit? I'm like, no. And here's why. Here's why I always say snow is like residential prepay. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. So if you always have something to give me some feedback on, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email. I love hearing what you guys are doing. But the way I approach my residential work now is it's just like insurance. And just because you don't have a claim on your car because you didn't get in an accident this last 12 months, they don't like give you a free year. They don't give you your money back. They don't give you 25% back or 50% of your premium back. It doesn't work that way. So I always tell residential clients, we on average, we get 40, 45 inches of snow per year up here in Michigan. If it snows 5 times or if it snows 25 times, you're covered. Right now, some people don't like that. Some people are like, I want to get $50 or $80 every time it snows and every time I plow the driveway. That's totally fine too. And at the end of the day, it's almost like the same amount of money. So I don't want to really get lost in the weeds here based on what I'm understanding. So whether you get the prepay or whether you do per push, it's up to you. Now, what we do with our residential prepay is we do unlimited. Whether it snows 30 times or if it snows 3 times. Now, my commercial, it is capped out at 45 inches, and then it's a la carte after that. We'll get to commercial here in a second. But over the years, my residential, of course, like the pricing went from $129, which was embarrassing. Even if you like factor in inflation and it's been 17 years, okay, like I would have been at like $259 or so, $250 a year, right? Definitely not where I need to be price point wise to offer a service like that. Not with the overhead we do today. Back when I'm living at my mom's house, maybe. Living on rice and beans, that might have been a thing. When you have a wife, a kid, mortgage, all that mess, that ain't gonna do it for you, right? So any which way, residential this year we're at $649 for a residential driveway, unlimited pushes, including sidewalks and drives, no ice melt, no salt service, $649. And we've had some great feedback. We've had everybody signing up with the new rate. Nobody's complained. That's a new sign up. Now, one thing that I did have, just to be honest with you guys, over the years was I get on YouTube. I meet Mike Bedell. I learn from you. You guys are maybe learning from me. I know I learn a ton from you guys. So I appreciate this community more than I could ever like put words into it. But what happened was, I would sign up a new customer, right, in 2017 or 18, once I kind of realized my pricing stunk, and be like, yeah, sign up for snow. It's now, let's say a couple years ago, right, 4 or 5 years ago, $399. And that's a fair rate, back in the day for my area. Well, the problem is that all my old customers, majority of them, were coming from the 129s, the 149s, the 179s. And then I'm like, yeah, actually, we need to be at $399. So a new customer signs up. They're like, $399, no problem. Thank God. You're the only one that picks up the phone and has room on their route. But then what happens with my established route? When I tell them, hey, like we got to go from 179 to 249, they're like, $75 increase? We haven't seen a $75 increase per year ever. It's been $75 increase over the decade, right? So maybe you guys can relate to that. We have the price adjustment letter that you can get at launchpreneuracademy.com. You can send a letter like that does the talking for you. I actually shared a screenshot of an email that I sent to people just recently, similarly for snow, to have this abrupt conversation and pricing change. And so what I mean is this year, let me take it back like to the last 2-3 years. New sign up for snow would be, let's say, $400. An existing customer, I'd do it for like $279. Well, then the following year, new customer signups would be $449, but then the existing customer would be like $329. And then the next year, the new signup would be $499, but the existing customer would be $379. So I could never like break the old customer, because every time I'd go up $50, the rate would go up $50 to $100, right? And I would never be able to get them to where they needed to be, which is our new retail pricing, which is the actual number I need to be at for my business to make profit. Right? To run the numbers for the business I need today, we need $649 a driveway minimum. Right? So last year, the last 2 years, it was even at insult to injury with the pandemic. money's tight, then money's not tight. People are getting paid, people are not getting paid. People are getting unemployment, people are not. People get stimmies, then there's no stimmies, right? And so last year, a new sign up was $575, and I got people all day long, oh my God, thank God, like I'll sign up with that. And then you get your existing customers, and no indictment to them. I preconditioned them, right? It's my bad. That's why listening to podcasts like this or getting a training program can literally save you and make you millions of dollars over a decade or two if you just start off right. If you just start off with your best foot forward and learning from other people's mistakes, right? That's why I'm so passionate about the content we put out. I'm like, dude, if I had this stuff back in 2005, in the last 17 years I've been in business, I guarantee you I've left 7 figures plus on the table. Like, and then you see these 16, 18-year-old kids, like we just did the Entrepreneur series, they're making $120,000 a year, some of these kids. I call them kids. And I'm just like, oh my God, like how different of my life could it have been? I'm sure maybe some of you guys listening can relate to that, right? So going back to the snow, when we're talking about having to quote unquote break the customer and break the news to them, I just couldn't catch up. I couldn't catch up to get them to where we needed to be. So this year, we sent in an email to, again, we do about 30 to 40 residential driveways. And I just sent like 3 paragraphs. Hey, we love you. We appreciate you. Hey, over the years, our business our overhead has gone through the roof, just like many things in the world with the pandemic and overhead costs and the price of goods, equipment, machinery, labor. We've always tried to make snow a valuable service for you, and we understand that snow plowing service is a luxury, not a necessity. That can be debatable. But we over the last few years, we've been forced to make hard decisions on our pricing to still be able to offer this service. We're writing this email to let you know that we do have to. I said something like, over the years, we've been subsidizing the price of snow plowing service, but as our overhead cost has grown and as we strive to be the best, service provider in the area, our price now needs to be reflective of the cost that we have to keep this to be a profitable endeavor, something like that. And I can share this screenshot on Instagram, or if you need that screenshot in the paragraphs, I said it much more articulate in writing. Just shoot me a DM on Instagram or an email, and I'll get you the screenshot. But it basically said, because of this, we have to correct the ship and to get our pricing structure to where it needs to be. We understand this is a significant price increase. We appreciate your understanding. If you would like to look for other solutions and providers, we totally understand. This is a fair market rate for our area, and we would love the opportunity to keep you on. Right? It was just basically saying, hey, Our business is growing. We never upped our price like we should have to keep up with our overhead costs. So every year I should have been going up 40% year over year on my pricing, but I'd only go up 10 or 15%, right? To match up with the business, the profit, the overhead. And it's nothing like greed or anything like that. It's just, I just never realized how much it costs to keep people on during the winter and how much it costs to keep trucks insured and to buy new plows and front ends wear out. It's $1,500, right? And it's just, that's why you need a company budget and a company cash flow projection. I mean, it just helps you to keep all this stuff in front of you, right? So, and not fly by the seat of your pants. And that's all I did the first 11 years, even the first 13 years until maybe 2017 when I jumped on and started plowing snow commercially. And I just started realizing, oh my God, all this stuff costs so much money. And then you have seen interviews with Troy Clogg, and he's like, don't give it away for free. And I'm like, I think I did that for 15 years, and he's probably talking to me. So, all right, so let's go full circle to that email. Basically, we took all of our new customers. I didn't send that email to the new customers. I just said, hey, Miles, there's a slight rate increase this year based on inflation, labor, equipment costs. The new rate this year is $649. Last year was $575. They were like, sure. No problem. Whatever. It is what it is, Brian. So they would say, sure, sign us up. Sounds great. Do you want us to mail a check or do you want me to just charge the card on file? Right. One of those deals. And by the way, insert your numbers here. In Jersey, you guys are getting $2,000 a year for a 1,000 square foot driveway. I'm like, what is going on? Like all those lowball losers over in Michigan that keep screwing up the rate. If they would just figure out their numbers, we could all charge more as an industry, right? Oh, that's funny how that all comes full circle. oh, but it's the truth. And then I got friends that I've done coaching calls with in Canada and stuff. And they're like, yeah, dude, we get, $1,500 a driveway. And I'm like, I hate myself, but that's what I'm saying. We're all learning all the time. So any which way, the old customers, that was the email I sent out to probably about 2, maybe 3 dozen people. And frankly, when you say it like it respectfully in a nice email, like I just kind of articulated, people get it. People get it. Okay. Everything else that they have around them has went up 30%. Cars, gas, food, rent, luxury goods, everything is through the roof. Go get yours. Okay. Stop apologizing for raising your rates. Okay. Like if they want the service, they're going to sign up. 90% of people are green lights. You don't have to sell or convince them to sign up with you. Okay. Like I send out that email and I'm like, hey, if you want to sign up with us, here's the rate. If you don't, I'm sorry. It's not my fault that your budget doesn't afford our service, right? Like I can't save them all. And it's just the reality of being a business owner, right? And so any which way, just some great testimony from that. Out of the 3 dozen emails that we send out, of course, we're still getting answers and replies, and I'll think about it, and okay, and let me talk to my husband and all that mess. But I've had 5 or 6 people right off the bat say, totally get it. No problem. We love you. We wouldn't go anywhere else. We appreciate you. Sign us up, sign us up, sign us up, sign us up, sign us up. Now, here's a life lesson that I keep saying on the podcast is, what if I like just went from $449 to $597 to, whatever, $497 to $549 to $599 to $649. Like I would never catch up. And the delta is $150 to $200 per customer. I mean, last year, I think we did $449 for our customers. This year, we're doing $649. That's a $200 price increase over 25 customers. That's $5,000. That's payroll for a month or whatever for some of us. And it's the same amount of work for more money, or even less work for more money, that we would have just been leaving on the table. That's $5,000. $5,000. If you've just listened to this podcast alone and you had a bunch of old crappy pricing customers like I did, it's $5,000 and you had this business for the next 20 years, that's $100,000 that you can learn from this like quick life lesson. And so that's what I keep saying. When you keep listening to these podcasts, start implementing these little changes. And so that's where I'm like, what do we do with my business? Did we like become millionaires overnight or anything like that? No, nothing. Of course not. Nothing like that. But we've been able to like, hey, if we start raising the 90 mow lawns that we have, 90 mow clients by $5, or let's just say 10, 12, 15%, that's an extra $10, $12, $15,000 per $100,000 that we're doing in revenue, right? That's, if you're doing $250,000, you just gave yourself a $20,000 pay raise by just raising everybody's rates 10, 15%. And you do that for lawn, you do that for snow, and boom, you just added $40,000 in new work or new revenue, and keep the same, third profit margin. And you just paid yourself $18,000 pay rate increase by doing nothing different, by just upping your rates a little bit. So it's not always working harder, right? We say smart work times hard work, right? If you're an 8 with smart work and a 1 with hard work, well, probably not going to do much. And if you're a 1 with smart work and an 8 with hard work, probably not going to do much. I'd rather you be a 5 times 5 instead of an 8 times 1, right? A 25 versus an 8. So it's smart work and hard work, which is why I appreciate education. I mean, literally training programs to podcasts to YouTube videos, right? And there's Launchpreneur Academy Live, a 1-day conference where you can learn a bunch of stuff just like that. Okay. So that's that was our residential conversation. So this year we're doing $649 for 1K driveway. Ice melts, $30 per application per visit. Charged card on file. Okay, so if somebody's like, "Hey, we're not getting down to this there's still a film or a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch," because when you're back dragging with plows, sometimes it doesn't scrape to the bottom. It doesn't matter how many times you go front back, front back, front back. There's always a film. Hey, no problem. We'll hop out. We'll drop a bag of Jet Blue or hot pink de-icer for $25, $30 an application. And charge card on file, which is nice because if you have 7, 10, 20 different accounts and it's costing you $10, $12 a bag or less, and you're tripling your money, and at least doubling, but if not tripling your money, your guys are already there. It takes them 10 seconds after they snow blow or shovel the sidewalks in the front porch, and you do an extra $15 of profit times 10 ice melt applications, $150. That might have just paid the half or all of the labor for your guy that you just had working with you for $25 an hour for the 6-hour plow run, right? So it's like a quick way to just recover the labor. The guys are already there. It takes literally 2 seconds. Okay. So anyway, that was the whole conversation about residential. I'm trying to give away the farm here. Hopefully this is helping you guys out. Somebody's probably scribbling down all the scratch, to take notes. Again, launchpreneuracademy.com, all this stuff and so much more, all the meat. Just check it out. I don't pitch it just to pitch it. It really, I know it's helping people make millions of dollars plowing snow. Okay. And that's my mission, is just to get the stuff out there and help the next Brian Fullerton out there. Okay. Let's go to commercial. So commercial, you guys have heard me talk about it before. Some guys do per push, some guys do hourly, some people do a flat rate pricing. We've always been the residential prepay because that pays my bills. Okay, that was the predictable income of, at least I know my baseline overhead and personal lifestyle is set. So if I had 40 people at, let's say $500, that's 20 grand. And I have $4 grand a month in overhead in 5 months between November through March. All right. And let's say payroll was 33 grand of that. Overhead's $1 grand and I got $1 grand profit. Work with me, right? But at least I know like my overhead is quote unquote covered with my residential. And the commercial, the per push stuff, salt and snow, is all extra credit. Or you can reverse it, of course. Salt and snow with commercial is all pay your bills, and the 20 grand that you bring in front of residential prepay is all profit at the end of the season in February, March, April, whatever. It's all the same, right? So here's what we did is on our commercial contracts, we have 4 tiers. I think it's 1.5 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, maybe 6 to 10, and then 10.1 and above. I just changed them all this year, updated it, streamlined it even more. I put another, 5, 10, 15 hours of thought into all the commercial contracts, the residential contracts, changed them all, cleaned them all up even more as I revise them after talking to Corey and Troy and just a bunch of great people. And I'm just always learning how can we make this even better? And of course, taking feedback from customers, right? So we have 4 tiers in the commercial for the snow plowing, 4 tiers in the commercial contract for shoveling, which is extra. And then we have our salt price, baseline salt prices in there. Those contracts are based on a 1 acre parking lot and 100 linear feet of sidewalk, which is pretty typical. And so here's what we're doing this year is we would have all these contracts, by the way, you get them at Launchpreneur Academy, you download them, all the red font, right? All the red font is font that you need to replace with your company info. So you're like, well, what part do I need to change or modify? We got it explained super simple. And so all the way through, you just fill it all out. And then what you're doing with that is after you get your measurements, after you have your pricing figured out, so if you pick up a tire shop, and that's about an acre size parking lot, use your mapping tool with your CRM or Google Earth, boom, you're good to go with the pricing that's already in there because that's kind of a base rate. Submit that. Actually export it as a PDF, open PDF, click the pen button, sign the second page, have the second name signature, so it's a print and a sign and date. It's exported as a PDF. You upload it to the email to the office manager, the facilities manager, the COO, the CFO, the CEO, whoever your guy is, right? And say, hey, we just need a signed contract back on page 2, and this campaign will be, or this contract will be activated. And rock and roll. So what we did is we started doing our invoices every 2 weeks with our commercial per push. And that worked out. We've made hundreds of thousands of dollars plowing snow that way. I sub out all my salt work with Bedell. Don't shoot me an email saying there's a bunch of money in salt work. I know there is. I give that all to Bedell. Not that I'm such a generous philanthropist. It's just, dude, I'm already married to snow. I don't want to be married to salt. It's hard to run a family and social media and life and get a chance to go out of town a little bit as it is just with snow. So if we're going out for 15 plow runs for snow, as you guys know, we're going out 30 to 45 times, adding in salt runs. Okay, so it's a lot. So Bedell, he's set up, he's equipped, he does an amazing job. He's got great equipment. He's meticulous. Reliable. So I'd rather just shove that off onto his plate, frankly. And he does a banger job and he makes great money doing it. And I'm always publicly and privately grateful and thankful. I tell him all the time, thanks so much for all the work you do. That being said, all of our snow work over the years, we've had per push. And here's the big change that we've done this year is After talking to Troy, after talking to Corey, and of course, this isn't like a silver bullet or anything like that. It's just a different option. I never really considered it, was moving commercials to a prepay or a monthly flat rate pricing, I should say. And I guess you could prepay too, but to a monthly flat rate pricing. And the reason I say this is because as I have grown my commercial snow business, we've had some slow payers. Shocker. Maybe you guys have had too. Even Brian's Law Maintenance like gets stiffed with money or has to threaten to sue people. Dude, you'd be surprised. Excuse me. You'd be surprised that not everybody wants to pay their bill, even for your boy. What are you going to shame them on YouTube? No. Okay, we don't do that. We've never done that. I was close to it this year, but we've had one business owe us $9,000. Another company owed us like $3,000. Some slow late payers for like, the last invoice in April or March or April. And, we're already mowing or slinging mulch, and we're doing cleanups, and I'm like, hey, like you stole me $1,800 from that last snow and salt invoice, which we bill ours out every 2 weeks for a commercial when it's per push. So I was getting really sick of it, long story short. And it's funny, like change always happens when like the pain or discomfort is great enough, right? And I'm like, even your boy here, it's not like I was trying to pay my rent with the last, $10,000 that was owed to me for snow. But nonetheless, I still wanted my damn money. So what I did was I'm talking to a couple different people, and I'm like, okay, not that everybody needs to be immediately put on flat rate monthly pricing, but the people that are slow payers, they are either going to be on a retainer or I need them to work something out. So we created a system that I took from a bunch of people, and I'm just making it my own, that we are moving to flat rate monthly pricing. And so what we did is, let's say we've had a customer for 4 years now. Every year they do about 8, 9, 10 grand of snow work. We added it all up. We averaged it out, based it on our 45 inches of snow, based it on how many tons of salt we've put down, and we got a price. And let's say it's $10,750 on average of snow work and salt work that we've done for these commercial clients. What we've done is, this year we've given our commercial accounts 2 ways to pay. You can stay on per push pricing, a la carte pricing with snow and salt service, which is fine. Or you can do flat monthly pricing. And so we get the average that we've had for the last, 4 or 5 years. And so, for example, if we've done $10,750 worth of work, we're now going to divide that by 5 months and have 5 equal monthly payments. Okay. So, now again, I am not a fan. It's been publicly mentioned before. I'm not a fan of this same business model for lawn and landscape, because although we're doing it for snow and salt for 3 months of heavy winter and a 5-month broad winter, from November to March, but you don't really get a ton of snow and salt in November typically, or in March typically, at least in Michigan. The brunt of that's going to come from mid-December through the end of February. But when you do that with lawn and landscaping, you put up your spring cleanup, your mulch, your pruning, all that mess, and then your first couple of months of mowing, and you're going to have 60 or 70% of your cost and profit in those first 8 to 10 weeks of a mow season in March, April, May. And then what if those customers cancel you in August or September when you're on your $400 a month flat rate monthly pricing, when you put in $2,200 worth of work in business in those first 8 weeks, right? And then they stiff you, and you're not breaking even until August, September, October, and you're not making your profit until November, December, January, February, March, for people that do the $400 a month flat rate pricing thing. And again, I'm not in anybody's grill. If that's working for you, dude, God bless. It's just, I'm not going to be out $2,200 material costs and labor costs and services rendered, and then hope to recoup that in November, and that's my break even, and those last 5 months are profit, and then I'm only showing up one time per month, and the customer's like, yeah, you're not really doing anything, we're going to cancel, and then at best you broke even, but you never made your profit off of those customers. I'm just never going to be convinced of that. And if you run your business that way and it's working for you, dude, awesome. Like, that's awesome. I'm not saying that's the only way to skin a cat, which I don't know why you would skin a cat. But to go full circle to snow and salt, it's a 5-month season, okay? And it's going to be moderate work for 3 months, light work for one month on the front end and the back end. We're getting all of our work done in 4 or 5 months, and the ship or the cart is never getting in front of the horse, right? More than likely, even if they canceled me in January, I still made enough revenue coming in and profit through November, December, and January if the customer, for whatever reason, decided to do a 2-week cancel. Does that make sense? So I'm never going to be like overextended with salt and snow unless we got a really weird 30 inches of snow in 1 month of December. And they're like, hey, we're canceling in January, which why would they? They're paying flat rate monthly pricing. It just went their way that month. And the next month, hopefully it goes my way. Okay. So that's why I'm not really worried about flat rate monthly pricing for winter. So this year, just as I kind of land the plane here, we'll button this thing up here pretty quick. We are doing 5 months flat rate monthly pricing from November through March based on our annual average snowfall for our area. So what I mean is we are measuring this on 45 inches of snow for where we're at in Detroit Metro. Now, if you get 60 inches times all the numbers that we're talking out loud by whatever that is, 1.2, 1.25. I'm not the math wizard guy, but if only there was a pricing matrix that could help you figure all this out, right? One day. So what we have going on is the base rate is what. Let me give you the formula really quick. I give away the farm. I mean, it's wild. Like I could charge $400, for that. I don't do that stuff. Like we give it all away. And then I'm like, hey, if you want to have some reciprocity, buy something off the website. Hit thumbs up on YouTube. Buy a ticket to LAL. I don't know. Use our code for Equip. There you go. Which I think the early bird is September 9th. So don't forget to actually register for Equip if you haven't yet. So what I'm doing for our formula is we take our base tier and we times it by, now I'll give you a conservative one and then a bid it as if you don't need it. How does that sound? So what we do, if you have the commercial contract, maybe you can look up at this later when you have it in front of you. Take your base rate for your 1.5 to 3 inch tier. Let's say it's $2.15 to plow driveway. Take that number, times it by 15. That's 3 inch snowstorms, right? Times 15 events. That's your 45 inches of snow. Take that number, times it by 15, and you have a great working number to start with for your seasonal your seasonal number, right? So let's say it's $215 times 15, and that's $4,000. Now you can divide that number by 5. Okay, that's for like a baseline, just snow only. If you want to times it by 2.5, that'll give you your baseline salt price and snow price. Now you're going to get into the 9, 10, 11 grand category. If you want to take the base, that's like your conservative, hey, we'll bid this like we need it. Or whatever you guys want to say. You know what I'm saying? What I'm also encouraging is if you don't want the property or whatever, take your base rate, times it by 20, right? So 20 snow events, and then take that number, times it by 2.5 if they want snow and salt. So the 2.5 multipliers the salt, because salt, there's going to be 2.5 more times visits. And you also got to know your per ton, what you're buying your salt for. So there's some numbers here that you got to work with. Couple different factors and variables, okay? So take your first tier, times that by 20, then times it by 2.5. That's your high. So if you have like your low and then you have your high, maybe you can find a number in between there. Go with the low number if you want it. Go with the high number if you're bidding it like you don't want it. I've had people, they're like, hey man, can you help me bid this, 3-acre church or whatever? And I'm like, yep. And I screen record and I punch all this stuff in. I send it to them. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to add $5,000 on top of that because I don't want it. I'm like, awesome. So I'm just trying to help, just trying to give away the farm here. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Nobody ever taught me any of these numbers. And by the way, I'm not saying like this is gold. Okay, this is just some general, will get you to the starting line type of numbers here. And this is what I've deduced from everybody that's out there. Not that this is what they're all doing, but this is a great way to at least get your pricing at to where you need to be a profitable snow outfit. Okay. So that being said, that's what I got for you right there with commercial pricing. Now, if the contract for the annual winter, or not the annual, but for the winter for 5 months is $10,750, divided it by 5, and you're at $2,160 a month, or whatever that number is, $2,080 a month, whatever it comes down to. Okay, and then what we're doing with the monthly flat rate pricing is November 1st we bill net 30. So by the time I get December 1st, I should be getting my first check. This is all best case scenario. You guys all know how that goes. But by the time we get the December invoice out, we should have just got the November check. By the time we get the January 1st check out or invoice out, we should have already got the December check. So what we're doing is let's say you do 150 grand or 100 grand in snow, and it's like you have a 15 grand November, a 30 grand of December, a 25 grand January, a 38 grand February, and a 12 grand November. Or, I'm sorry, March. Whatever that comes to 100 grand. That's fine. That's cool. That's nice. That's awesome. Again, going back to regular lifestyle, regular income, regular profit, regular overhead, regular business revenue, I'd much rather have 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. Right? Just like we went back to the lawn maintenance and landscaping example. Like, yeah, there's more money to be made in different things, but what if you didn't book a pruning job? What if you got busy? What if you got sick? What if you got this? What if you got that? I'd rather just have 20 a month in mowing, 20 a month in mowing, 20 a month in mowing. And maybe that's lazy. Maybe that's ambitious. I don't know. Pick your number. Would you rather have 100 a month in mowing, or 1 month we did 150 and then we did 70 grand, then we did 180 because we had a huge Walmart construction, landscape job. And then the next month we did 60 grand because there was a drought. I don't know. Everybody is different. That's the best part about the industry. Everybody can do whatever they want to do. Going back to the winter with the monthly flat rate pricing, if we took where we're at, added the new clients that we have, we're soliciting and trying to get new customers all the time for commercial. I'm knocking on door. People are like, what's the best way to get new commercial clients? Every way you can to get the phone to ring and to get the damn contract signed. There's no respecter of persons if you do a postcard, a yard sign, UZ marketing, postcard mania, Google My Business listing, handing out flyers on mailboxes, doing walk-ins to offices and drop-ins, no soliciting. You're like, hey, not here to sell you anything. Just want to drop this off. Okay, what is it? Snow. Well, actually, we're looking for snow. Well, you got 5 minutes. Who's the decision maker? I'll have a conversation with them. Bing, bing, bing. I literally was doing a pruning job last week, Friday. When I was driving down the road, one mile down the road is a site that I'm bidding. I was driving by. It's a manufacturing shop. The whole front garage door was open, big ass garage door. And I was like, dude, I'm stopping in that place. It's Friday at 3:30. Most of those guys they're out by 3:00. You guys know how it goes. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to bother. And then I'm like, you know what, dude? Pull the truck around after the next light. Come on back down. Pull the truck up front. Go in the little side office door. Like a small machine shop. We're talking, the building's probably, 70 by 200, decent little business, 2-acre commercial parking lot. Go in the office, nobody's there, kind of weird. I'm kind of like, could be like some crazy person, just kind of walking into their campus. Nobody's in there. So I'm like, all right. So I go out, I go through the huge garage door. I'm in the warehouse. I'm like, hello. And the whole line, the whole 20 people, if you will, that's working at this thing, they're all in the back corner. I'm like, hey, one guy walks over and goes, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm like, hey, I'm a contractor, do lawn and snow. I don't want to give the guy's name. Is so-and-so here? And they're like, yeah, actually, he just went to lunch, but his boss, let's use the name Mark. Mark's over here. I'm like, hey, I said, I'm down to talk to whoever. I just want to talk about snow. He comes over. Long story short, right, give him the 3-minute song and dance. Hey, not here to sell you on it. Just want to touch base. I haven't heard anything back. I sent that proposal a week ago. He's like, yeah, I got 2 more guys giving me proposals, and then I'm going to make a decision here by the end of the week. Awesome. Hey, if I can do anything for you, I'm hungry for it. We're excited about it. We do a dozen sites up and down here on this road. We live 5 minutes down the road. We're on it. We're fast. I know we're not the cheapest. I don't want the cheapest, is what the guy said. I go, great. Then I'm your guy. If you want service and quality work, and you get my cell phone number. And this is what I do. This is what I say. I'm like, hey, we're your guy. He's like, all right, thanks. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I'm going to get back to the line. And it was just a quick conversation. So that's an office drop-in, right? That's just a quick drop-in. It wasn't a postcard. It wasn't a yard sign. It wasn't a Google My Business. It wasn't, hey, how to SEO optimize your website. It's just, dude, beat the pavement. And that's what I'm trying to do is beat the pavement. I put out yard signs 10 days ago, Friday, knocking on doors, cold calling. I went to a new steakhouse in the area. Hey, you guys are new development. You guys obviously got the lawn taken care of, but I know you're a new business. Has anybody got snow? Yeah, I don't know if we had anybody snow because the site just opened up in April. Yeah, that's why I'm calling. Who's your boss? Who's your manager? Well, you need to talk to this person. Okay. Hey, can I get their email? Don't let them say, hey, we'll get back with you if we're interested. No, that's not how it works. Hey, who's your boss? Who's the decision maker? Who do I talk to? Oh, you need to talk to this girl, this guy. Awesome. Give me their card, their email, their phone number, their AOL Instant Messenger chat name. I don't care. And I called on that person. Same thing, song and dance, sold myself over the phone, got him a contract. Hey, we'll be making a decision here in the next week. She emails me back. Hey, you're like definitely not the cheapest contract to have right now, but if you're, and I've already patroned the business 4 times in 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I'm just here to try to get some of my money back. Ha ha ha. She's like, ha ha ha. Trying to humanize myself, personalize myself. I'm not just trying to be a robot. And I'll give you guys an update. Hopefully we get it, right? Hopefully we get the account. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to sell. And what I want to do is right now this year, I'm giving my customers, and I'll wrap this up, last thing I say, 2 options. You can still do the per push, or you can do the monthly flat rate pricing. Next year, 2023 into 24, right, I'm only moving everybody exclusively to flat rate pricing. And if they don't want to be a customer anymore, that's fine. No problem. I'm going to let that account go, because I'd rather have flat rate monthly income than to have income, which sounds weird. It's just how I'm just a hard driver like that. I know it sounds weird, and that's fine. That's my PTSD of the first 11 years I ran my business. You guys do whatever you want to do. But I chased down money for so long that this spring, I was chasing down another 11, 12 grand that was owed to me from commercial snow, right? Because I'm only in year 5 of snow. This is year 6. I'm in year 17 of lawn care, right? So I threw in the towel 5 years ago, moved to yard book, moved to credit card on file with lawn care. This year, excuse me, I'm noticing the same PTSD tripping in with snow. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. So if you're a delinquent payer, you're automatically only getting one option, flat rate monthly pricing. And if your invoice is a freaking second late, I'm going to burn your building down. Just having fun. But that's what I'm doing. So if you're delinquent, I'll still do your work. People always catch up, is what I always say. You eventually always get paid. Not always, but get your attorney involved and things will eventually get figured out. But we're moving to flat rate monthly pricing for the delinquents, flat rate monthly pricing for the new signups. And then my current good customers, it's, hey, per push this year or flat rate, because you got to onboard people. You got to transition them. It takes time. But I'm like, hey, here's my line, just giving away the farm. Hey, this year you can do flat rate monthly or per push. We're super flexible. You guys have been great. Whatever we can do to just continue the relationship. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I will say this. Next year, we are moving exclusively to flat rate monthly pricing, right? So you kind of give them this, hey, we're going to go this way anyway. So do you want to just shore this up and do it now? Let me know. Out of the 4 commercial accounts, and by the way, we're 2 weeks into bidding snow. Out of the 4 commercial accounts I already got back, 3 signed up that were good customers for the flat rate monthly pricing. 1 said, no, we're going to stay per push because we're actually getting rid of the lease of the building sometime in January or February, so we won't be here anymore. So it doesn't behoove us to, pay the flat monthly rate in February and March, because we're going to probably be out of here at the end of January. And I said, awesome, no problem. I mean, that totally makes total sense. So that's why I'm not just a hard driver on like my way or the highway. It's always a conversation, right? But here's the takeaway. Steady income, steady making money. I am about my money. I am about making sure that my wife and my kid are taken care of, and my bills are taken care of. Rob's salary is taken care of. Rob's lifestyle is taken care of. Whether you got 1 employer or 100, it's your job to make sure that you're taking care of your team, and they're on your ship, your cruise ship, and you got to provide for these people and protect, right? So this is what I'm doing for residential snow. This is what I'm doing for commercial snow this year. We are growing like crazy. We have the second truck that's going to be up and running with a plow. More on that later. People are like, you're getting a Boss, you're getting a Western, you're getting whatever. I'm like, none of the above. We're going a completely different route. I'm very, very excited about it. Our numbers are going to be through the roof, and I couldn't be. You can tell I couldn't be more excited about it. I'm burning up the phone. I'm dialing for dollars, like I talk about, and we're excited about growing this thing, just like so many of you guys are. So that's one thing that, as I just button this up here, that's my commercial approach. That's my residential approach this year. Of course, interject your numbers wherever you guys think it makes sense. Maybe you guys. All those rates are double. Maybe all those rates are 1.5 times as much based on your area. That's why it's always nice to take somebody local to dinner. Hey, what are you getting for a parking lot? What are you getting per hour, per truck, per this, per that? and start talking these production numbers. So, all right, this one's at an hour, so that's what I got. Just pouring it out there. Hopefully this helps you guys out. To anybody who's bought a contract or a resource, and just in general from Launchpreneur Academy or came to an event or used a code, you guys know I always say thank you. I sincerely mean that. I sincerely appreciate that. Did a coaching call with somebody just before I hit record on this podcast. Guys, like, I've just bought some Jags, man. I used the Brian's 10. I'm like, dude, thank you so much. Like, I make $5 on that, or well, I don't even know what I make, but it all helps out. You know what I'm saying? And we've sold quite a few hundred of the snow and residential contracts. And I bought them off Bedell for tens of thousands of dollars. And we've made our multiples back. And it's just crazy what we can do scaling with the internet. I'm an open book. Like, it is for profit. It is an incredible way to grow the community. It's an incredible way to help other people grow. You don't have to go hire a lawyer for $500 an hour. Hallelujah. So if you get the contract, you can use it on all of your accounts forever, for hundreds of accounts over the next 100 years, and make millions of dollars with it for, $99 or whatever they are, right? So if you guys have ever bought a resource at launchpreneuracademy.com, appreciate the love, appreciate the support. If I can do anything for you, if you have questions, email me. Whatever I can do to help you guys grow. I'm always here. If you want to do a coaching call and talking about plowing snow, maybe you got some sites that you want help bid. I'm not really good at the HOAs and the condo complexes just yet, but the other stuff I can most likely help you out. Anything smaller than a FedEx shipping center or a Walmart, I can help you out. The big stuff, I don't even bother. The big guys have that. The Cases, the Brylars, the Bright Views, the Brickman people. It's just really, it's hard for us to even compete with those guys. They just get such great pricing on their snow equipment, their salt, their front end loaders, all that mess. I know a bunch of you guys listening in do some of those bigger sites for sure. It's just all those guys that have those sites, they tell me, hey, the small to medium businesses and work is where it's at. The big stuff, you got to be the big guys to bid it and to make money with it, if that makes sense. So, but if you ever have questions, shoot me an email. If you want to do a coaching call, talk snow, talk equipment, work through some things, book a coaching call. I'm always here to help you guys out. And that's what I got. The last thing I'll say, help me out with sold out September, okay? Let's sell out Launchpreneur Academy Live. Get your ticket. Get your ticket for your wife. There's no spouse ticket that's discounted this year, just another regular full price ticket. Costs are just going up. But nonetheless, if you guys are bringing your spouse, bringing your wife, get her a ticket as well. Get your girlfriend a ticket, your fiance a ticket. Get your mother a ticket, okay? I want to get these tickets sold through the month of September because October 1st, the price is going to go up to $249, quote unquote, for an early bird registration. Right now at $197. So if you don't get it through the month of September, there'll still be tickets available in October, but it'll cost you an extra $50. All right. So that's what I got for you guys on today's show. Appreciate you listening in. Happy month of August and month of September. Let's pour some fuel on the fire as we sprint to the finish line. Most of us are mowing through the end of October, first part of November. Got about 8 weeks left. Anybody can sprint for just a couple quick last couple hundred feet, if you will, to the finish line. So let's keep the hammer down. Get those snow contracts out there if you're in the Midwest. And if you're down in Florida and Georgia and all those down south states, man, enjoy that sunshine and those 60-degree winters. Struggle. All right, that's what I got for you guys. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and we look forward to catching up with you here on the next one.
Purchase the whole ball of wax now through the end of August and receive one free LAL 2022 admission, a $197 value. When you buy the whole ball of wax, you will automatically be registered for the event. No additional steps required. Launchpreneur Academy Live is the event to take your company to new heights as you learn from industry leaders at this amazing one-day event. Act now. This free ticket offer to LAL 2022 and purchasing the whole ball of wax won't last forever. Go all in today and secure your seat for the industry's best in-person training conference in Novi, Michigan, Saturday, November 12th. The whole ball of wax includes all the training programs, documents, resources, and postcard designs at thelaunchpreneuracademy.com and the ticket to LAL 2022. This deal ends August 31st, so don't delay. Tickets to the event can be purchased separately from the whole ball of wax promotion.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.